Gemma. We'd like to welcome Gemma Thompson here today, who is our a rider that we're profiling for the month of October. How are you, Gemma?
I am good, thank you.
Who's your little friend here?
This is Monty. He is my ginormous cat, and he was orphaned at 3 weeks old, and I hand raised him with a syringe.
Oh, and he's very friendly, it seems.
Yeah,
he's very friendly.
He decided to leave.
Right. So, Gemma, you're a very new member to our club. It's your first year. And so you moved to Victoria in the middle of a pandemic. How's that been for you?
Lonely. So, obviously I joined the club hoping that I could meet some friends and have a bit of a social life, get back into riding after not doing too much for the last few years. And then the pandemic came and said, no, you can just live alone and be by yourself.
So when you mean live alone, you do currently now share your residence with?
So I do have a partner, Declan, but because of the pandemic we did spend 5 months apart while he was in the NT and hadn't moved yet, and I was here on my own. We couldn't visit each other, which was the plan, but he's here now, so...
And you're happy to have him here, we suspect?
Yes, he does cook good dinner.
Right. And so does he know how much you spend on horses?
No.
No.
He has a good idea, but we have a good arrangement that my finances are my finances and his finances are his. So he doesn't judge me for buying an Equisage. I don't judge him for the BMW he's picking up next week.
Right. Oh.
So
Right. So she's putting in advertisements for Equisage and BMW all in one interview. Right. So tell us a bit about your journey, how you got to Morong.
So I'm originally from Perth, and I took a job opportunity that took me to the Northern Territory and lived in a remote area. There was not much going on equestrian wise, so that sucked, but it was a great opportunity, experienced something different, and that's where I met Declan. And he was from Melbourne, and I said, well, I'll move to Victoria with you, but there's no chance in hell I'm living in Melbourne. And if we could find some property for enabling my equestrian addiction, that would be great too. And we found this cute little cottage that needs a lot of love in Morong on 20 acres. And I said, let's buy it. And we did.
Cool. So did you actually come and view the property before you purchased it?
No.
So
So Declan's parents from Melbourne did a day trip out.
Oh, so it was viewed. Yes,
It was viewed, but they did not let on the level of work that needs doing
Right.
inside this beautiful home.
Right.
But the longer we've been here, the more it feels like home, and we love it. We love the area, and we just love having the property and the space.
And I hear your neighbours are quite nice.
I have excellent neighbours. I know more neighbours than the neighbours know the neighbours. I've made.
You've heard that.
I've got some really great neighbours. So it's we've bought the shittest house on the best street.
Oh, excellent. So let's talk about your journey with horses. How did that begin, and what do you love about horses?
My family still can't work out how it began.
So no one else in your family rides?
It's no horsey people in my family, and as a child I nagged and nagged to start riding horses. My 10th birthday present was my first ever riding lesson, and I haven't stopped riding since. So yeah, I just came into horses. I saved up, got a job at 14, bought my first horse myself at 15 and paid for everything myself.
Wow.
We're impressed, aren't we?
We are impressed.
And yeah, it just kept going from there. So
And so what do you love doing? What's your favourite discipline?
eventing.
Oh, good girl, good girl.
I'm not as ballsy as I once was. I used to like going up the grades, seeing how high I could get with a horse. Right now I'd be happy to make it clear around 45. But I do look forward to getting back, and I'd be happy to get my nerve back up to just going around some nice sort of 60 centimetre grade rounds. And there's nothing like coming in off your cross country and then finding out you had 0 time penalties and 0 faults. There's nothing beats that. Just
Well,
getting your time
The
right.
fact that you've mentioned that eventing is your favourite discipline, you're allowed to stay at the club now. That's also mine, also less braver, also, but you're definitely allowed to stay. So I think we need to discuss the most recent purchase from the Echuca sales. I think the club needs to know about Sneaky. If you wanted to give us a bit of a story about this little one.
So, Sneaky is my little sneaky surprise. I went to Echuca Sales to get a companion to keep my thoroughbred Mitch, who I've dragged all over the country with me. He's from WA, came to the NT, and now he's here in Victoria. And he didn't want to settle in when we got here, so I went to Echuca Sales to pick up a cheap companion, which I did. But instead of doing the smart thing and leaving, I hung around and kept following the auction. And when this cute little pony had only a bid for the meat factory, suddenly my hand went up. And then the meat factory didn't put their hand back up. So suddenly I'd bought a pony and realised I had nowhere to keep her. So I had to build her a yard while she stood on the float when I got home. And went, what the hell am I doing? I've lost the plot. And several months later I've had a sneaky surprise, and it turns out that pony was pregnant. And now I have the most adorable little pinto filly, and also not sure what I'm going to do with this pony either.
And we'll insert photo here.
Yes.
So we can also get to see that. No, we've met Sneaky, very, very cute.
Very fluffy.
So we'd like to
Very
thank you for
fluffy.
saving Sneaky. And what's the mother's name?
Summer.
We'd like to thank you for saving Summer from the meat market, because she didn't deserve to go.
No, she was very descriptive. Pony mare. So,
And so finally, Gemma, just to know a little bit more outside horses, what do you actually do to fund all this equine activity?
I work 2 jobs.
She laughs.
I'm very tired. I've been up since 3:30. So I work 3 mornings a week in a racing stable in Bendigo, and I work Monday to Friday in a bank. So 2 mornings a week, I get up early, go to the racing stable, work 4 hours, have a shower, get all freshened up there, and then I'm over to the bank by 9 a.m.
And so
Madam.
that night in bed at what, 4, I suspect, are you?
Uh,
Let's go to bed quite early.
I sometimes stay up till 9.
Alright.
But I try to get to sleep as early as possible before working at the stable. So
That's been lovely, Gemma. Have you got anything you'd like to add to the interview? Anything that you'd like to share with us? Any family secrets you'd like to expose at this point in time?
no, I think I'll keep my family secrets under wrap. But I do look forward to getting out with my thoroughbreds, both of them that I've brought over from WA. Some of you might have previously seen me with a different horse, but going forward I'll be out and about with my thoroughbreds that I've brought over from WA. So
Oh, well, actually, on that note, we need to talk about this last one, don't we? We actually need to tell his story. What's the 13-year-old's name?
So his name is Laddie. His race name was Doubtable. And I spent 6 years working full-time with racehorses over in WA, and he was the first horse I came in and said to the boss, gee, I really like this horse. He was only young, he hadn't even had a gallop yet. And she said, oh, well, if you like him that much, when he's finished racing, you can have him. And she was the breeder, owner, trainer. And I said, oh, really? You beauty. Yep, I definitely want Laddie. He's mine when he's done. Well, I picked the most successful horse in the stable. And he just went on to win and win and win and keep going. He raced right up until he was just shy of 11 and retired 2 years ago. So Jane, his wonderful owner, took him to her, we call it the block, her property where she would pop the retirees. And he spent the last 2 years retired on her property and waiting for me. So once I moved here to Morong and finally owned my own property to have the horses, I rang her up and I said, can Laddie come home, come and live with me. So for my birthday present back in June, my partner paid for his transport as my birthday gift. And so he came over and He's finally here.
Cool. That's a lovely story. So essentially we've summarised you as a horse lover that basically rescues all animals.
Yes, I have 2 rescue cats and 2 rescue dogs and a rescue pony that had a baby. I am not insane, I swear.
Right.
It'll fit in well, no
Right,
doubt.
Thank you, Jenna. Well, yeah, done.
Excellent.
Well,
Thank you.
How long did that go for?
Thanks for having me.